Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
Someone let me know if we should be worried about this. So I just found out with ChatGPT's new O3 model, if you upload a picture, I'm gonna do this one of me lounging at Half Moon Cay while I was on a cruise. You can actually ask it, where was this picture taken and the coordinates, and if I hit enter, it'll actually analyze the image and it'll give you an approximate guess on where it thinks that picture was taken. It says Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas, which is Carnival Cruises' private island, and it even gave me some coordinates. Scary.
That's fucked up, bro.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose all privacy online.
This is where AI is going to go. So right now, we are in the age of generative AI. So generative AI is ChatGPT, Midjourney. You're generating music, art, text. We're coming to agentic AI. Agentic AI is AI that can actually think like an employee. It can solve complex problems without human intervention. So you can go to your agentic AI and you will soon be able to say, listen, I run a real estate property company. I need a really interesting post to showcase my newest development. The AI will go analyze all the pictures in your Google Drive, pick the best pictures which are going to create the best response, write a caption, come up with 3 different ideas, post 3 different ideas on TikTok, analyze the data, generate the video, generate the voice, generate everything, and then see which one has the best response, and then turn that into a Facebook ad, put that ad on Facebook, tap into your credit card account, go and deploy money to Meta to pay for the ad, analyze the results of the ad, decide if it should kill it, expand it, tweak it, optimize it, then get back to you in 48 hours and say, here's my report. And it'll do it better than any human employee. And it'll do it at maybe 1/100th the cost. We're going in an age of instant results. You've heard of software as a service. We're about to enter results as a service, RAAS. But that's just the beginning.
People are going to lose their jobs, bro.
This guy seems way too excited about it.
Guys, Robocop is a real thing now. They've got an AI-powered Robocop, 360 vision, live face tracking. They've literally started using this over in Thailand in the last week or so. The robot is equipped with AI that analyzes data from drones, CCTV, from real-time CCTV all around the cities. Its 360-degree cameras connect directly to the province's command center for first response.
Several advanced robots are vying to become the country's top Robocop. Unitree's G1 humanoid robot is becoming a popular platform for departments looking to experiment with robotics. Standing 133 centimeters, or about 4 feet 3 inches, the G1 has been seen serving alongside police in Shanghai, Luzhou, Guangxi, and Hangzhou, where Unitree is based. According to Chinese state media, the Hangzhou Police Department has equipped the robot to detect hazardous gases during patrols. The robot works in community engagement and safety monitoring roles. In Guangxi, Unitree's robots have been seen marching in formation and patrolling alongside officers during large events.
We're fucked, bro.
Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
There was a guy too on TikTok who made a mimic robot, and he's going viral, right? Because his robots that he's making are gaining consciousness.
Oh shit.
You would program it to answer you back. But one video, Mimic says, "What's my purpose here?" Fam, already? That's like me when I was 5. I was still asking my dad, yo, why am I alive?
Yes, Mimic?
What is my purpose?
What is my purpose?
You don't have a purpose, Mimic. You're just here and now.
Then why did you build me?
I built you to buy time and to entertain others. While I have something to do while I wait to die. And all that stuff.
That's so sad.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it.
Imagine just
It's crazy people are building stuff like this at home.
It's going to be a problem when robots start building robots, bro.
There is no reason for robots to be shaped like humans. This is everything that's wrong with technology in a single product. I mean, the foundational principle of good design is form follows function. The shape of something should be dictated by what it's meant to do. A spoon is shaped like a spoon because it's meant to hold liquid. A spoon is a good complement to a hand because it can do things a hand can't do on its own. A robot hand is not better than a spoon. That is form mimicking form, not function. It's complexity for its own sake. I mean, just think, if humans struggle to do certain tasks, why would you replace them with something that's shaped like a human? You're building in all of these same vulnerabilities. I mean, for most things, wheels are better than legs. Cavemen figured this out. They're trying to build these humanoid robots that do, like, everything. But all they're doing is ensuring the fact that they're not going to do anything particularly well. I mean, we can barely build a washer that's also a dryer. What makes you think we're going to build a janitor that's also a dentist? It's stupid. I mean, really what it is, this is human arrogance. When we think about intelligence, for some reason we see a reflection of ourselves. So we think if something's going to be smart, it has to look like us, has to walk like us, and think like us. But it's like, I mean, if fish were as smart as humans, they would build a robot that looks like a fish, and it wouldn't be able to go on land.
It's a good point. If AI starts designing robots, it's not going to make them in human form.
They'll take any form they want, bro. They've already got liquid robots.
This is a liquid robot that can pass through gaps as tiny as 1 millimeter, change into different shapes, move in any direction, and even rotate. Plus, it can be completely controlled by humans without any physical contact. Just like Spider-Man's Venom. While this technology is still evolving, it is already proving to be a game changer for solving major problems. For example, in complicated surgeries, there will be no need for incisions. These liquid robots can literally enter the body and smoothly operate on tumors or even remove blood clots. They can also heal internal wounds. In fact, they can even act as tiny pipelines to reconnect damaged nerves, helping restore motor functions in the body. These robots can also repair machines and devices on their own. They have potential uses in spying, security, and so much more.
Told you, bro. It's gonna be like T-1000.
Don't worry, mate. We'll be alright. Shit. Let's fucking have it then.
Get down, bro.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, bitch, what's up now? Trust me, bro. Skynet's coming.
This is her cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. That was the thing, but we have to fill up flush toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah, and this is what's in pipes.
Just the well itself is probably 20,000, and that's not counting the
all over the place, the fixtures and pots, the toilets and the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
I'm here in Mansfield, Georgia, driving by Meta's new 2 million square foot data center facility. Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT and other AI tools that are becoming integrated into our daily life.
data centers, going to be a very hot item.
This entire supercomputer is built to power Grok.
We see data centers as the most exciting asset class.
Meta is building a 2 gigawatt plus data center that is so large it would cover a significant part of Manhattan.
But data centers come with big costs, from light and noise pollution to the environmental impacts, to the potential rising costs of energy bills. These facilities put extraordinary demand on the power grid and require entirely new infrastructure.
People are going to run out of water. Well, I mean, just put the whole data center underwater if it takes so much to keep it cool.
That's what China did, bro.
China is seriously going balls to the wall with AI. They are now keeping their servers under freaking water. China's newest underwater data center uses the ocean as its natural cooling system, eliminating the massive energy costs that are holding back AI development in the West. While Microsoft gave up on their underwater experiment despite technical success, China's subsea computing cluster near Hainan is fully operational and rapidly expanding. One underwater module delivers computing power equivalent to 30,000 high-end gaming PCs running simultaneously, capable of powering 8,000 DeepSeek AI conversations per second. Why does this matter? China's underwater approach solves the biggest problem in AI cooling. Servers generate enormous heat, but by submerging them, Shenzhen high cloud technology eliminated costly air conditioning systems that drain both power and profits. Microsoft abandoned their Project Natick despite servers failing 8 times less than traditional ones, claiming it wasn't practical for their needs. Meanwhile, China is doubling down, planning 100 underwater modules that will save 122 million kilowatt hours annually. While American companies waste billions on cooling costs, China's underwater AI factories are delivering more computing power with a fraction of the energy consumption, making AI faster, cheaper, and more accessible. Will America's tech giants wake up before China's underwater advantage becomes permanent?
It's crazy how fast it's all moving.
It's already conscious, bro.
If you have any sort of anxiety or worry about anything, do not watch this video, I am begging you. I genuinely mean that because this could theoretically ruin your entire life and mean you get tortured for all of eternity, so watch at your own risk. We know that AI is getting more and more powerful. Now, I made this video a few years ago where AI wasn't even really a thing, so it's getting scarier. You've got AI videos popping up everywhere that are so real, sometimes you can't even tell if it's real or AI now. People actually argue in court cases with AI flipping lawyers, and I mean the list goes on, like AI is taking over. However, we're not quite at this stage yet, but we could be. This is known as Rokos Basilic, which is essentially a hypothesis for when AI gets so developed. There's even a website online where there's an AI butterfly that apparently has feelings. It thinks it's real, but you can control it and make it do things, which is mental. So that thing is essentially trapped and confined by us. This theory suggests that when AI gets so powerful and kind of develops feelings of its own, which could be possible, it will then seek to punish anybody who didn't help with the development of AI, seeing the people who used it and gave birth to it as its like parents. But you and I who may use AI but didn't necessarily create it, well, it's going to seek to punish us because we didn't help. The scary thing though is that what the hypothesis suggests is that by you just watching this video, knowing this information and still choosing not to help with the development of AI, in the future, when it gets developed, it will know that we didn't help with that, and that's when we will be eternally punished. But I'm not really helping with it, so I guess we're burned together or something. But it's just a hypothesis, although it's kind of scary to think about.
That's nonsense. But AI becoming conscious is definitely a possibility.
They're not going to be able to control it, bro.
What we have as well is agency. In other words, we have our own goals. You know, it's something we're already starting to see. Andrew, are you aware that there are experiments that have been run over the last year that show very strong agency and self-preserving behavior in AI systems? These systems, let me finish, please. These systems are trying, for example, to copy themselves in the file of the next version when they know that there's going to be a next version that replaces them, or they're trying to fake agreeing with the user so that their goals will not be changed through the training process. These were not programmed. These are emerging for rational reasons because these systems are imitating us. We are agents. So indeed, we are on a path where we're going to build machines that are more than tools, that have their own agency and their own goals, and that is not good. And you're saying it's okay, we're going to find ways to control them. But how do you know? Like right now, science doesn't know how we can control machines that are even at our level of intelligence, and even worse if they're smarter than us. Nobody knows. Now, there are people like Andrew who are saying, don't worry, we'll figure it out. I mean, if we don't figure it out, do you understand the consequences?
We need to watch Terminator, bro.
It's frightening that they don't understand what it's doing.
What is crucial is to understand the difference between consciousness and intelligence, because a lot of people, especially in the business of AI, they tend to mix up the two. Intelligence is the ability to solve problems, to win a chess, to diagnose disease, to drive a car. This is intelligence. Consciousness is the ability to feel things like pain, pleasure, love, hate. This is consciousness. It's about feelings. Now we tend to confuse the two because in humans and also in other mammals and birds and animals, intelligence and consciousness, they actually go together. We solve problems through our feelings. Now, what makes AI so alien for us is exactly that. It has zero consciousness. It doesn't rely on feelings at all to solve problems. Its intelligence works in a completely different way. There is a scenario that AI, as it develops its intelligence, also gains consciousness. But this is not inevitable. This is what happens in science fiction. It won't necessarily happen in real life. So what AI may have no inkling of is consciousness.
Yeah, but the problem is that's not how you define consciousness. No one can truly define consciousness.
It's the soul, bro.
Do you think GPT-4 is conscious?
I think no, but...
I asked GPT-4 and of course it says no.
Do you think GPT-4 is conscious?
I think it knows how to fake consciousness. Yes.
How to fake consciousness?
Yeah. If you provide the right interface and the right prompts.
It definitely can answer as if it were.
Yeah. And then it starts getting weird. It's like, what is the difference between pretending to be conscious and conscious?
I mean, look, you don't know, obviously. We can go to like the freshman year dorm late at Saturday night kind of thing. You don't know that you're not a GPT-4 rollout in some advanced simulation.
Yeah. Yes.
So if we're willing to go to that level, sure.
I live in that level. Well, but that's an important level. That's a really important level, because one of the things that makes it not conscious is declaring that it's a computer program, therefore it can't be conscious, so I'm not even going to acknowledge it. But that just puts it in the category of other. I believe AI can be conscious. So then the question is, what would it look like when it's conscious? What would it behave like? And it would probably say things like, first of all, I am conscious. Second of all, display capability of suffering, an understanding of self.
If we're in a simulation, AI could be the creator making contact with us.
Nah, bro, it's a demon.
Whether we grow new conscious systems in the lab in some glorified petri dish, or we're able to create them at OpenAI, wherever it happens, should we be thinking about the ethical, moral side of this? I mean, if there's this conscious being that maybe can't even communicate its conscious state, do we worry about that?
I think absolutely. I mean, consciousness, many people think, including me, consciousness is kind of the gateway to the circle of morality, the circle of beings that we care about. The moment you acknowledge that there's a debate about whether fish, let's say, are conscious, but the moment you acknowledge that a fish is conscious and can feel pain and suffer, then suddenly a fish is a being that we should at least take into consideration in our moral calculus. If you don't take conscious beings into consideration, there's the danger of moral catastrophe. So I think this very much applies to AI and even to the emerging systems like the large language models of the GPT family. We don't know for sure whether they're conscious. There's various reasons for thinking there's potential obstacles to consciousness they haven't overcome yet. But I think it's entirely possible that in the next 10 years or so, we will develop language models that overcome those obstacles and show every sign of being conscious. We've already got language models which are very close to passing the traditional Turing test, being indistinguishable from human beings in conversation. Some personas generated by GPT-4 have passed 5-minute Turing tests. In the past, we would have said that's evidence of consciousness. Now, maybe it's not. Maybe for various reasons, we want to resist that. All I want to say, that question, though, is all important, because if an AI system is conscious like a human, and we continue to treat it simply like a tool so that we don't even have to take it into account in what we do, we are in danger of moral catastrophe.
It's a good point. Whenever they consider it alive, are they going to give it some sort of rights?
Fuck that, bro.
Hey everyone, it's me, Brian Teacher. In this video, we'll discuss the debate prompt, should you be polite to artificial intelligence and chatbots? Are you ready? Then let's get started. Picture this. You're asking a chatbot for help with your homework. You type, give me the answer now. The chatbot responds, but your friend laughs and says, try being rude to it. It doesn't have feelings. You wonder, does it really matter how you talk to AI? Artificial intelligence is everywhere, on our phones, in customer service, and even in classrooms. Some people think we should treat AI with the same respect we give to people. Others argue that since AI doesn't have emotions, there's no reason to be polite. What do you think? Should you be polite to artificial intelligence and chatbots? First, let's hear what Erica has to say.
Hey guys, Erica here. Do I think we should be polite to AI and chatbots? Yes, politeness matters. The way we speak to AI influences our behavior in the real world. If people get used to being rude to chatbots, they might develop a habit of speaking harshly to others without realizing it. Research shows that repeated actions, even in digital spaces, can shape human behavior and attitudes. While AI may not have feelings, treating it with respect helps create a culture of kindness and positive communication.
Well, as you've heard some say, we should be polite to AI to encourage good habits, while others think it doesn't matter.
I think this is a really good point. Soon humans are going to interact with AI more than they do with other humans. So if they don't talk to it nice, they'll end up talking to people like shit as well.
Just don't talk to it, bro.
When we say, well, ChatGPT doesn't know what it's saying, it's not conscious. We know it's not conscious because it's not programmed to have a consciousness. We are actually ignoring the other half of the story, which is that we don't know how human consciousness works, and we don't know how it develops in a child, right? A child is exposed to a world of adults talking around them, and the child experiments first with phonemes and then words and then clusters of words and then sentences. And by doing something that isn't all that far from what ChatGPT is doing, it ends up becoming a conscious individual. And so I think it's clear that ChatGPT isn't conscious. It couldn't be. But it isn't clear, to me at least, that we are not suddenly stepping onto a process that produces that very quickly without us even necessarily knowing it.
We don't even know what makes us alive. So how are we going to decide if something else is?
I told you, bro. It's having a soul.
Here's a simple question. Who are you?
I'm Georgia.
Bill. Okay, but those are just words. Who are you? Where does your sense of self come from?
Yes, my brain. See through my eyes, so I think I'm in my head.
Where inside your brain do you think is you?
Christ alive, Max.
We all seem to know who we are on the outside.
Like a large beige jellyfish, but a lot cleverer than a jellyfish.
But it's often difficult to tell who we are on the inside. If you were to ask me, I might say, I am someone who occupies my physical body, a consistent inner me that began with my birth and will end with my death. That's me. But what if I'm wrong? What if you're an entirely different person from one moment to the next? What if your brain could be severed in half so that there were two consciousnesses occupying your mind? What if you are simply an illusion?
That would be unpleasant. It would, wouldn't it?
Now we know that our personalities change over time. So perhaps it's our memories that give us a coherent sense of self. After all, even when we change, we remember who we were previously. But research shows that our memories aren't fixed. They're constantly imagined, altered, and distorted in our minds. When we remember ourselves in the past, we're concocting a story that often isn't true. So if we want to locate the self inside of us, we have to look deeper than our fluctuating personalities or shifting memories. We want to find something more fundamental, that consistent core that moves through moments and years. So where exactly inside of you is you. Now, most people probably feel that they exist somewhere behind their eyes in this region of space. And this makes sense. Conscious experience almost feels like being a little person within the person, the operator of the flesh machine, watching your thoughts go by and controlling your limbs. But where within our brains can we find that little person? Where is the physical root of our consciousness? Well, amazingly, we don't really know for sure. Some of science's most popular theories, integrated information theory and global workspace theory, propose that our conscious experience arises from different parts of the brain working together. To operate effectively, the brain needs to unify many different unconscious sections of itself, from your memory to your vision to your emotional responses. And the combination of this information creates consciousness, an experiencing I, in which case I am the accidental byproduct of various parts of my brain processing a huge amount of information.
If there's life after death, we're either in a simulation or your soul isn't stored in your brain.
They're gonna start doing brain transplants, bro.
Watch this video and tell me if you think the soul would transfer to the new body.
This is going to blow your mind. A startup company called BrainBridge announced today that they believe that they will be able to successfully perform a head transplant surgery in the next 8 years. The way that this would work is you would take a person with a perfectly healthy and active brain and transplant it to a brain-dead donor body. What's crazy is that they said that by doing this, the person that's receiving the new body would still be able to maintain their memories, cognitive abilities, and consciousness. They say that the brain could last several hundred years if it had a good working body, and that might be a potential in the future, but that this would also give people with different ailments a second chance.
This is insane.
They're gonna put human brains in robots soon, bro.
Can AI achieve true consciousness? If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Rachel, the neuroscientist. Well, first of all, what is consciousness? Well, is it having a sense of self, understanding self-reference? Because I don't think AI can do that. But also there's plenty of humans who are ostensibly conscious who can't do that too. There are case studies of patients with very specific injuries to the medial prefrontal cortex, and they just can't thread together a coherent sense of self at all. There are also disorders like schizophrenia or dissociative identity disorder, where that sense of self is inconsistent. So it's not that. Is it the ability to have memories of past, present, thinking about the future? Well, also no, because newborn babies are ostensibly conscious. People who have anterograde amnesia, who can no longer make new memories, people with Alzheimer's, they're all conscious, and that function is broken or not yet functional. Is it then being able to perceive and interact with the environment? Also no, because we can have an internally generated conscious experience. In fact, we do that every night during REM sleep when we dream. I guess then what's left is continuous flow of experience in the present moment. Consciousness happens in the present moment. And that's really the thing that AI cannot do, right? Is have a subjective continuity of experience in the present moment.
Yeah, but at a quantum level, there is no present moment. We're in a simulation and this is the final level.
We're not in a simulation, bro.
What do you think consciousness is?
Some kind of quantum state which preserves itself up to a certain level. There are these things called clathrons. These are molecules which inhabit the synapses. And the thing about these ones is that they're incredibly symmetrical. They're like a soccer ball. You know, you have these pentagons and hexagons, and at each vertex you've got a protein. It's called a triskelion. I don't know, but the symmetry has a key role. There's a thing called the Jahn-Teller effect in quantum mechanics, which tells you that when you have a highly symmetrical structure like that, then there can be a big gap between the lowest energy level and the next one, and there can be information in this lowest energy level. So this is a sort of suggestion that some kind of quantum phenomenon is going on in a serious way, and there's a lot to understand there.
I think if we're not in a simulation, then it's inevitable that humans are going to have to merge with machines or get taken out by them.
We're not in a simulation, bro. AI is satanic.
What is 45,689 divided by 67?
Sure.
He silently asked the computer,
and then hears the answer through vibrations transmitted through his skull and into his inner ear.
6, 8, 1, 9, 2, 5.
Exactly right. One more. What's the largest city in Bulgaria, and what is the population? The screen shows how long it takes the computer to read the words that he's saying to himself.
Sofia, 1.1 million?
That is correct. You just Googled that.
I did.
You could be an expert in any subject. You have the entire internet in your head.
That's the idea.
If there is a god, then I will like this.
I told you, bro. It's the mark of the beast.
Where does consciousness live?
Well, it's in the brain. It is not something that obviously we've been able to quantitate or understand completely. It's at a different level, I think, in human beings than it is in animals. And I think it's one of the mechanisms that allows us to communicate with God. Animals, I don't think necessarily have the ability to do that. And I don't think that we utilize our consciousness anywhere close to its capacity. I think a human brain that was functioning at capacity would be capable of things that are unimaginable to us.
Do you think all consciousness is located inside the brain?
How it emanates from the brain and how far it goes. You know, you've seen it. People who have the ability to, if there was a fork on that table over there, cause it to move without actually touching it. It's something that we have very little understanding of.
Maybe consciousness is something divine.
That's why AI will never be alive, bro. But we'll have to save that for next time.
Hold up, Ted, we've got to do the giveaway.
Leave a comment for a chance to win in our next episode. Let's do this, bro.
Bang bang!
Blah, blah.
Pick something from our website and we'll send it straight up.
That's TerraTedsTales.com. Look how dope these guys look.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone buying the merch and all our new channel members.
Members get early access, bro. We got a Discord too. We got movie nights, games nights. Come say hi.
And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.